everyone. So my name is Storm.
My name is Cecil.
This is my dad, and we're essentially talking about the assisted dying bill in relation to my dad's story with terminal cancer. So my first question to you, Father, is when did you find out that you had cancer?
I found out in 2019 that I had cancer. I suspected that it would be that it was cancer, but I got the full confirmation on the 13th, I think, of September 2019.
And at the time that you found out, did they tell you it was terminal?
I asked them to give me the full story. How much time have I got? And so just to be truthful, they said, well, because the cancer's advanced, it's spread to other areas, to organs, to bones. You may have 2 years, possibly 3. And yeah, I was in shell shock.
Were there any other emotions other than kind of feeling shell shock?
At the time, I was just so shell shocked. I was blank. I didn't have any emotions at the time until I walked out of the hospital. I was on my own. I walked out of the hospital and I sat down on some benches outside the hospital and I thought, why me? I can't believe this, Can't believe that this is happening, that I've suddenly been given a death sentence of 2 years.
And that was in 2019, and they said that you had 2 years to live, but it's now 2025. So how have we gone from kind of the 2-year prognosis to, over 2 years?
Well, first of all, I have to give thanks to the Lord Almighty, the God Almighty. I have to give thanks to the Lord for bringing me through this journey. And 2, I suppose, even the doctors are surprised that I'm still here 2 years later, because I had 2 cancers. They diagnosed another cancer a few weeks later, a bladder cancer, which was a separate cancer.
And I know that in terms of doctors, we've had some really good doctors over the years, but have you ever felt like some of the doctors have, written you off or seen you as less valuable because of your prognosis?
I have felt more recently that, yes, I felt that I've been written off in the sense of, oh, well, you've got cancer. We're going to give you, we're going to try and do what we can for you for a certain length of time. And after, you've had 5 years, you've had more time than you should have had. Now maybe we'll just shove you off to the hospice and we won't treat you anymore. We'll just let them deal with your pain management, even if it means that you're not going to get any more treatment, that's your lot now. That's what I felt. Or I felt that I've had to wait too long to get any form of treatment.
And the treatment, how has the treatment been in terms of when you have treatment, how do you feel within yourself?
Well, once I've had the treatment, which I've had to fight for a few times to get radiotherapy, it's been great. I've actually, it's night and day. Within weeks, I'm feeling much, much better. I'm not needing so much pain relief. But in that time before I had the radiotherapy, I nearly said the words. It's become so painful and so hard at some point, you almost will lose the will to live.
And I think some of the concerns around the assisted dying bill is that the treatment that people actually need, maybe they may cut costs, they may, essentially reduce the amount of spending towards treatment, which has happened in other countries. I'd be interested from your perspective to know how you think the assisted dying bill will affect those that want to live and want to have a better quality of life.
I think what could happen when some people are at a low point, they're at a very, very low point. They're not feeling well. They're in pain, and at that point, and if they've got enough family support around them and support of friends, because sometimes you could be at a very low point, and you may think that's what you want. And if it's there for you, you may miss out on the fact that you could come through that, get through that, and get better. Because we don't know. There's many times when I thought, this is my lot, and suddenly I've bounced back. If I'd have chosen to die, I would have missed out on so many things.
What would you have missed out on from a kind of life perspective?
I probably wouldn't have seen my grandson. You know, maybe I
Yeah.
wouldn't have seen my grandson because I would have thought, well, it's pointless if I've been told I've been given it. On top of the fact that I was once given, 2 to 3 years.
Right.
Then I was given a year to live because I wanted to travel, and I was given a year to live. And that's very hard to take when someone says you've only got a year left. And that was about 3 years ago. So sometimes when you tell people you've only got a year, it actually does get into your head, and you have to try and put that to the back of your mind because the doctors are not God.
What is it that terminally ill people need? What do they actually need? Because the assisted dying bill is, I suppose, a considered solution to the problem. I think it borders eugenics, but that's a completely different conversation. But what do terminally ill people need? Is it community? What do they need from your perspective?
People need a reason to live. They need a reason to live. And the reason why I feel like I need to live as much as I can, my family are rooting for me so much. They want me to be around. There's been times when I felt like I could have given up, but because I know that my family, my offspring, they all are rooting for me. That makes me want to live as well. And the faith that I have, that I can put my worry onto the Lord and not keep that worry inside me, not keep that stress, because we're all going to die one day. We're all going to die without getting too deep into religion. We're all going to die one day. But when you can put your faith and trust in the Lord, it does help.
I personally think that people are valuable in all stages of life, regardless of the last day to when they come out of the womb. Do you believe, or to what extent do you believe your life is just as valuable as anybody else's?
Well, whilst I was in the last stint in hospital, and I couldn't, because used to be a bricklayer, and I used to work with my hands. And imagine you play the piano every day, and suddenly you're no longer able to play the piano, and you love playing your piano, you can't, your fingers are all seized up, and suddenly you get the use back of your fingers. You can actually play the piano again. And my piano is my tools. Doing work, I love work. I love doing my work. And whilst I was unable to do any work, I found things that were wrong in my family. My family is a big family. We're all very loving, but we're all doing our own thing. So I thought, let's join the family up. Let's have a family prayer meeting every Friday, and let's just have a family group where we check in on each other every single day. We check in on each other. We say, how you doing? We keep communicate with each other all the time, because we're not all living in the same area. Some of us not even in the same country. But when you can, with the technology we have, you can see each other, you can talk to each other, and you'd be surprised the amount of problems that people have that are keeping to themselves, your family that are keeping their problems to themselves. And just by sitting down in a hospital, thinking, what am I going to do today? I can't work. What am I going to do? So I made a group, family group, and it's just so wonderful to have this friendship, the family friendship that we had lost because everyone's off doing their own little thing and too busy. And there's other things you can do, even when you can't do any physical stuff. There's so much things you can do with your mind, your mouth, if you can talk. There is a purpose for everybody. When you feel like you haven't got a purpose, that's when you might feel like you're in it all. But there's always a purpose.
That's really good. So I'm hearing that there's value in everyone at every stage. Yeah. Thank you so much for having a chat with me.
No, you're very welcome, my dear. Yes.
See you guys later. Bye.
Bye.